Okay, well, as you see from the clip, we struggled a little bit. We were up on the hill, early stag season, forest recreation scheme just finished actually, with a lot of fencing that's gone on, and because of lockdown and restrictions and trying to only go where it was essential to go, there wasn't really any need to be up on the estate while the work was going on. So now it's come to a conclusion and things are easing. My main priority was really to have a look round, see what was what. We try and shoot a couple of young stags early on, which I like to do anyway. They're very good for the table, gets you a head start on the cull, and also have a look at how the deer were reacting, because I mean, a big fencing scheme kind of affects the dynamic on the estate. There are a lot of clients coming in for the rut, so I really want to spend a bit of time up there and see how things, and the deer in particular, are behaving. So it wasn't a priority to shoot a stag, but obviously trying to do it because we were up there, but severely thwarted because all we could find is hinds. Great when you're out just to really see deer interacting. You should always take the opportunity of watching how deer behave, because it benefits you later on when you're trying to assess whether a deer is going to run or it's settled or whatever. But one thing of note was you could see a red hind suppling a calf quite clearly, and then another calf came in and thought that she would get in on a bit of the action and get a bit of free milk, but the hind was having nothing to do with that and give a shot, shift, and shoved her out the corner, out of the way. So that's always interesting to see, just that interaction between a group of deer. Young hind. Right behind this tree. Down here. Right one behind it. Calf coming. Hey. The other thing that was particularly nice for us to see is the cuckoo. Scotland appears to be bucking the trend worldwide on cuckoos. I mean, we've still got habitat for them, still got the quarry species, which is very largely meadow pipits, and there are a lot of meadow pipits on the restock sites in Scotland. So I believe that the latest figures were showing an increase in cuckoos of about 54% in Scotland, whereas I think south of the border was a decline of 30%. So it's a fairly significant factor, and it just shows you that the guys on the ground, I mean, we can sort of see this going on, and as soon as we get into April, the cuckoos sort of come right across Scotland where I operate, and you hear them singing, which is great to hear. So it's actually quite a bit of a success story, and I think demonstrates where you leave a lot of natural habitat, then birds will, they will thrive despite global warming and all the rest of it. We got a roe doe in front of us in the hardwoods, and watched her for quite a period of time. I wanted to see if there was a buck with her, but there didn't appear to be, and we didn't see one. But eventually I couldn't really get her to shift, and I wanted her to sort of quietly go out of the way without barking. So I just sort of engineered a few little clicks and taps just to try and get a shift, and there was one particular way I wanted her to go rather than running barking straight in front of us, so that actually worked well, and shifted her off the scene to allow me to proceed without kind of too much disturbance. Predominantly the lower ground and mid ground on the estate is hinds anyway, so in the summer months I tend to only see hinds on there, but usually I can find a young pricket or a knobber in and among the group, but no matter how hard I tried and how hard I looked, and no matter how long I glassed a group of hinds to be convinced that there was a young stag in there somewhere, I couldn't find one. So after a fair bit of trying and a fair bit of filming a lot of deer, we actually decided to call it a draw. I'd done what I wanted to do anyway and had a good look round. There is still a little bit of work to do on the fence, it's not quite completed. So we moved then down into Argyll. Similar operation really. I've got 2 ground boxes I want to put out in advance of the stag season over some restock sites which were now really getting very, very mature. And again I wanted to have a look down. Argyll had been particularly badly hit with COVID, so we didn't want to be going into that area again unless it was essential. And really this time got out of the car, went 2 metres down the track, and straight away there was a group of initially a couple of hinds and a calf which were in the real thick of the regen area, and a little bit of closer inspection, a nice knobber stag stuck his head out the thick of a clump of fern bracken. So the shot was on, it was just a matter of waiting for him to come clear. Okay, so after quite a lot of trying, we managed to find this lad. It's murder, this cover in here, and I haven't brought the dog because of the midges. But nice young stag, perfect condition. The only way I really managed to do it was backtrack, so go to the point where I'd shot it, which was in front of this. It looked like a V-shaped formation, and then really just kind of worked through. There's a great ditch there. These bloody things are murdering us, so we have to get it out of here sharpish and get it into the trees to grollock it. If I open this up here now, it's just going to be woof, and these midges are going to take lumps out of it. But good young stag, ideal, and shots bang on the money. So now we've got to do is get it back to the track, which is quite a drag. Through this lot, we can hardly walk in it. I'll drag the stag up onto the higher ground, then I'll get it grollocked out. The easy part of shooting a stag is the shooting bit. Then you've got to get the bloody thing out. Back on the track now, so I'll do a field gralloch on here and we get the vehicle in. And basically get it loaded up and into the chiller because it's going to be really warm shortly, even though it's like 4:45 in the morning. It's going to be 30 degrees here today, so you need to get in and out sharpish. And the midges are a nightmare. But anyway, we got there in the end.